Episode 1: The Will to Fear. The gargoyle offered no judgment. It never did. Bruce Wayne crouched on its stone shoulders, cape pooling around him like liquid shadow, watching the Falcone warehouse through night vision lenses that painted the world in shades of poison green. 3 weeks of surveillance, 14 shell companies traced, 200 hours of cross-referencing shipping manifests with Gotham Port Authority records. Tonight, Carmine Falcone's entire heroin operation would burn. Not literally. Bruce didn't kill, didn't maim permanently, didn't cross the lines that separated justice from vengeance, but careers would end. Empires would crumble. And somewhere in Gotham's rotting heart, children wouldn't find needles in their playgrounds tomorrow. His earpiece crackled. "Sir, I'm detecting an anomalous energy signature approaching Gotham airspace." Bruce's eyes didn't leave the warehouse. "Define anomalous, Alfred." "I would if I could, sir. It's not matching any known aircraft, satellite, or meteorological phenomenon. It's simply there. Moving at approximately 17,000 miles per hour and decelerating. 17,000 miles per hour. That ruled out anything human." Bruce finally looked up. The sky tore open. Not metaphorically. The actual fabric of the night split along an invisible seam, hemorrhaging emerald light that turned Gotham's perpetual cloud cover into a ceiling of radioactive jade. Something fell through that wound in reality, trailing green fire and sparks that looked like dying stars. It screamed over the city at an angle that would plant it somewhere in the Narrows, and Bruce was already moving, grappling gunfiring, body swinging through Gotham's concrete canyons toward the impact site. Behind him, the Falcone warehouse sat untouched. Carmine Falcone had just gotten the luckiest night of his miserable life. The crater was still smoking when Batman arrived. It had carved through an abandoned tenement building, through the basement, through bedrock itself, leaving a wound in the earth 40 feet deep and glowing with light that hurt to look at directly. Bruce adjusted his cowl's filters and descended, boots finding purchase on rubble that was still warm. At the bottom, he found the ship. Alien. Obviously alien. The design language was nothing terrestrial. Organic curves married to crystalline structures. Hull material that seemed to shift between solid and liquid states. And beside it, thrown clear by the impact, lay something that wasn't human. Purple skin, massive frame. Uniform that matched the ship's aesthetic, dominated by a symbol Bruce didn't recognize. A circle bisected by 2 vertical lines. The alien was dying. Bruce could see that immediately. The wound in its chest was catastrophic, leaking fluid that glowed faintly blue. But its eyes were open. Aware. "You," the alien rasped, and its voice was wrong, translated somehow directly into Bruce's mind rather than his ears. "You are the one." Bruce knelt beside the dying being, his detective's instincts warring with something deeper. "I'm going to help you. What happened? Who attacked you?" "No time." The alien's hand rose, trembling, and on its finger sat a ring that blazed with the same green light as the ship. "The ring chose you. Before I fell. It reached out. Found you." "Found me for what?" "Willpower." The alien's lips curled into something like a smile. "Such will. I have never felt its like. Not in 3,000 years of service." The ring pulsed, and suddenly Bruce felt it. Felt himself being examined by something vast and ancient and utterly inhuman. Not his body, his soul. Every moment of his life weighed and measured in an instant. the pearls hitting wet pavement, the cave, the fear, the choice to make fear his weapon. Bruce Wayne of Earth, you have the ability to overcome great fear. The ring's voice resonated in his bones. You have been chosen. Chosen for what? Bruce demanded. But the alien was fading, its grip on life loosening with each shallow breath. The Corps, the Green Lantern Corps. We are peacekeepers, guardians of all life. The ring will explain, but you must know. The alien grabbed Bruce's wrist with surprising strength. There is something coming, something we were never meant to fight. I was running, warning Earth, but it found me first. What found you? What's coming? The thing that lives in the dark between stars, the thing that eats fear. The alien's eyes locked onto Bruce's with terrible intensity. It is older than the Guardians, older than the Corps. And it knows about Earth now. It knows about you. The light in the alien's eyes dimmed. Take the ring, Bruce Wayne. You are, perhaps, the only one who can. The sentence died with its speaker. The ring floated free, hovering before Bruce like a patient predator. Its light painted his cowl in shades of emerald, turning the bat symbol on his chest into something almost organic, almost alive. Bruce Wayne of Earth. Willpower rating exceeds standard parameters by 847%. Anomalous fear integration detected. Override protocols engaged. What does that mean? Bruce asked the empty air. It means you are not like other bearers. Your relationship with fear is unprecedented. The Guardians will want to examine this. I don't have time for examination. You heard him, something is coming. Correct. Parallax entity detected in Sector 2813. Estimated arrival. Earth, 72 hours. The ring floated closer, its light warm against Bruce's face. Accept the ring, Bruce Wayne. Become a Green Lantern, or watch your world die in darkness. Bruce Wayne did not believe in destiny. He believed in preparation, in discipline, in the choices men made when the universe didn't care. He had spent years crafting himself into a weapon against crime, against fear, against the chaos that had stolen his parents. But he also believed in using every tool available. He extended his hand. The ring slid onto his finger like it had always belonged there, and the universe exploded into emerald fire. The uniform materialized around him like liquid light, not replacing the Batman suit, but merging with it. The cape becoming a construct of pure will, the cowl's ears elongating into something more aggressive, more primal. The bat symbol on his chest blazed green against black, and Bruce felt power flooding through him, unlike anything he had ever experienced. He could feel Gotham, not see it, feel it. Every mind in the city was a candle in his perception, some bright with hope, others guttering with despair, and everywhere, the dim red smolder of fear. He could sense the drug dealers in the Narrows, the corrupt cops in the precinct 3 miles east, Carmine Falcone still in his warehouse, celebrating his lucky escape. The ring whispered to him, anything you can imagine, you can create. Your willpower is the fuel. Your creativity is the architect. Bruce imagined a fist made of green light manifested above the warehouse, 50 feet across, and slammed down with enough force to crater the roof. Not enough to kill anyone inside, His control was instinctive, terrifying in its precision, but enough to collapse the structural supports, to send Falcone's men scrambling like rats from a sinking ship. He could end Gotham's crime problem tonight. All of it. Every murderer, every rapist, every corrupt politician and crooked cop. He could see them all, feel them all, and the ring's power was vast beyond imagining. The temptation lasted exactly 3 seconds. Then Bruce Wayne remembered who he was, what he believed, and why power without restraint was just another form of tyranny. He released the construct, let the fist dissolve into motes of fading light, and rose into the Gotham sky for the first time under his own power. Alfred's voice in his ear. "Sir, I'm reading extraordinary energy signatures from your position. Are you quite all right?" "I'm fine, Alfred." Bruce looked down at the ring on his finger, watching it pulse in rhythm with his heartbeat. "But we have a situation. More pressing than an alien spacecraft in the Narrows?" "Much more." Bruce turned his gaze upward, toward stars that suddenly seemed very, very close. In 72 hours, something called parallax is coming to Earth, and apparently I'm supposed to stop it. The Watchtower's observation deck offered a view of Earth that never stopped being humbling, a fragile blue marble suspended in infinite black, home to 8 billion souls who had no idea how often they came within inches of extinction. Superman stood at the window, arms crossed, watching Bruce approach. Diana was beside him, golden lasso coiled at her hip. John Johns hovered silently nearby, his Martian features unreadable. Behind them, the rest of the founding members of the Justice League waited in various states of tension. "Bruce." Clark's voice was careful. "The ring. Abin Sur's ring. He died in Gotham 3 hours ago." Bruce held up his hand, letting them see the emerald band. "Before he died, he warned me about something called parallax, an entity that feeds on fear older than the guardians of the universe, currently en route to Earth." "I know of parallax." John's mental voice touched them all simultaneously. "The Martian people had legends, a creature born from the first fear ever felt by a sentient mind. We called it Yerethuk, the Eater of Courage." "Legends?" Hal Jordan stepped forward, his own Green Lantern ring glowing in response to Bruce's. "Parallax is real. It's imprisoned in the central power battery on OA, has been for millions of years." "Then your prison has a leak," Bruce said flatly. "Because according to Abin Sur, it's 72 hours from Earth and hungry." "That's impossible. The Guardians would have—" "The Guardians," Bruce interrupted, "clearly don't know everything. Abin Sur was running from something, Jordan. Running and failing. Whatever's coming, it killed one of your most experienced lanterns like he was nothing." Silence. Heavy, uncomfortable silence. Diana broke it. "What do you need from us?" "Time, resources, and for someone to explain exactly what I'm dealing with." Bruce looked at Hal. "You're the expert. What is parallax? Really?" Hal's jaw tightened. He didn't like Bruce on the best of days. Too controlling, too paranoid, too convinced that he was the smartest person in every room. But a Green Lantern ring didn't choose idiots, and whatever else Bruce Wayne was, he wasn't stupid. "Parallax is the living embodiment of fear," Hal said finally. "It exists because fear exists. The Guardians captured it eons ago and used its power to fuel the green light of willpower. The central power battery. Every ring draws from it, which means every ring is connected to parallax, whether we like it or not." We fight fear by using fear, Bruce said. It wasn't a question. We fight fear by opposing it. Will against terror. That's the whole point of the core. And if parallax escapes fully, if it reaches Earth? Hal's silence was answer enough. Bruce nodded slowly. Then we need to prepare for the worst. Clark, I need you to coordinate with the military, discreet channels only, no public panic. Diana, contact Themyscira. If this thing feeds on fear, your people's training might be relevant. John, I want a full telepathic survey of the planet. Find me everyone with unusual mental resistance, anyone who might be able to contribute to a defense. You're giving orders, Clark observed mildly. Someone has to. Bruce's ring flared, responding to the spike in his determination. And apparently, I've just been drafted into a war I didn't know existed. The Guardians will want to speak with you, Hal said. A ring choosing someone with your profile is going to raise questions. My profile? You use fear, Bruce. That's your whole thing. You dress like a nightmare and terrorize criminals. The ring should have rejected you immediately. The fact that it didn't. Hal shook his head. The Guardians are going to have opinions. They can have all the opinions they want after we survive the next 3 days. Bruce turned toward the Watchtower's teleporter. Alfred, prep the cave. We're going to need every contingency plan we've ever developed. Even the ones for the Justice League, sir? Bruce paused. The League members behind him went very still. Especially those, Bruce said without turning around. If parallax can possess people through fear, we need to assume anyone could be compromised, including me. Including you, Clark repeated. You're already planning for your own corruption? Bruce finally looked back, and the green light of his ring cast strange shadows across the cowl's eyes. I'm always planning for my own corruption, Clark. That's why I'm still human. He stepped into the teleporter and vanished in a flash of emerald. Diana watched the space where he'd been. He's afraid. Bruce. Hal laughed bitterly. The man who stared down Darkseid without flinching? Not afraid for himself. Diana's eyes were ancient, knowing. Afraid of what he might become with that ring. He felt its power, and it terrified him. That's the most Batman thing I've ever heard, Clark muttered. No. John's voice was contemplative. That is the most human thing I have heard in a very long time, and it may be exactly what the ring sensed in him. The Batcave felt different with a Green Lantern ring on his finger. Every shadow held dimension now. Every echo carried information. Bruce could feel the weight of the earth above him, the patient strength of bedrock that had stood for millions of years. He could sense Alfred in the manor above, his steady heartbeat a metronome of loyalty and concern. And deeper, in the darkness below even the cave's foundations, he could feel something else. Hello, Bruce? The voice wasn't the ring's. It was older, colder, and it came from inside his own mind. We're going to be such good friends. Bruce's hand moved instinctively, and a construct formed, a cage of green light around his own head, a telepathic barrier improvised from pure will. The voice laughed, delighted by his resistance. Clever. But you can't cage me out, Bruce. I'm already here. I've been here since you were 8 years old, watching your parents die. I'm the thing you made yourself from, the fear you weaponized. You're not parallax, Bruce said aloud. You're a projection, ascending. I'm a promise. I'm coming, Bruce Wayne. And when I arrive, you're going to be my favorite toy. because you understand something the other lanterns never did. The voice turned, admiring. Fear isn't the enemy of will. It's the fuel. You've always known that. You've just been afraid to admit it. The presence withdrew, leaving Bruce alone in the humming darkness of the cave. He looked at the ring on his finger, at the green light that had seemed so pure, so powerful. And he wondered, for the first time, if Abin Sur had chosen him as Earth's defender, or as its executioner.